Hello, football fans, and welcome back to the Corner Flag podcast. On today's episode, we have got Macarthur Bulls young gun defender Kealey Adamson. Now, if you haven't heard of Kealey before, I'm sure you soon will. He's an absolutely amazing speaker and a great footballer. You are going to love these series of episodes coming out. So on the warm-up today, we'll ask him a few questions about himself. How well does Kealey know Kealey Adamson? And we'll fire through some rapid-fire questions as well. Please make sure you are following us on Instagram, jumping onto our socials, making sure to give some likes and shares on there as well. But also make sure that you are following us on Spotify and subscribed on YouTube as well. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the warm-up with Macarthur Bulls defender Kealey Adamson. Kealey, welcome to the Corner Flag podcast, mate. Great to have you here.
Cheers, good to be here.
Lovely, mate. We're going to start off with the warm-up. So just for anyone at home, if you are new to the pod, this is a real quick way to get to know our guest. I'm going to give Kealey a bit of a quiz about himself. So we'll pop him on the spot there. And then we're going to ask him some rapid-fire questions, which will cover a little bit of everything. With the aim is hopefully the fans get to learn something a bit about you and maybe have a few laughs on the way. Is that cool?
Sounds good.
Lovely, my man. So we'll start with a little quiz about you and football. You are the youngest player I've ever had on the pod. So normally I ask a lot of questions around like statistics and whatever, and yours is still building, man. So might divert a little bit there, but I've had to really dig deep for some of these questions, so I hope you do appreciate it.
Not too much information out there.
Mate, usually it's, I jump on Wikipedia, transfer market, all this, and I think after this, I'm going to add to your Wikipedia page, all right? I'll write some stuff up, all right? All right, you good to go?
I'm ready.
All right, let's see how well Kealey Adamson knows Kealey Adamson. So you came through the youth system at Sydney FC. When was your debut for the first team?
My debut for the first team, like the date?
Well, if you can. Tell me what year first.
Okay, it was 2023.
Good. Do you know what month?
It was in the Australia Cup.
It was?
I want to say, I don't know when the Australia Cup starts, but I want to say October.
Very close. It was August 12th.
August.
Okay. So
this is Central Coast Mariners.
Very good. The next question was, who did you play?
Yeah.
What stadium?
Wynn Stadium.
Very good. Great place. I love playing.
Your ends.
Well, yeah, kind of. Not really. A bit far for me, mate, but I do love it. I did grow up, spend a bit of time in Wollongong, big Dragons fan, so watched the Illawarra Steelers down there, who you probably never even heard of. So, what was the score at full time in that game?
Full time?
Yeah.
2-2.
It was 2-2 after extra time.
3-3. JK last minute equaliser.
He's a bit of a fiend for that, isn't he? And what was the score after pens?
I'm pretty sure everyone took a pen. I think Redders scored the winner. It's 11-10.
Very close. It was 10-9.
10-9.
10-9, yep. So I think they must have missed two and you guys were first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very good. What about you? Do you remember what pen you took? What number pen?
I remember because Bimby was like, who wants to take a pen? And I love taking penalties because the best advice I got given was their free goals. So I put my hand up and say, I want to take a pen. He's like, oh, okay. You can be number 7.
I had you down as 6.
6. Yeah. Okay, 6. But it was outside of the players that take penalties. Yeah. And I went, oh, yeah, cheers. I'm not going to take one today. And then got to step up. So
Bimby was like, yeah, cool, man.
He's like, cool.
I'll find 5 other guys. Then I'll throw you in. Where'd you put it?
Okay, there's a bit of controversy about this. I say I put it bottom right, but after watching the video, it was scuffed and a lot of people saying down the middle.
It was very straight.
Very straight.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But it almost made it look better.
Yeah, it was like, how is this guy, the composure, what were you, 20 at the time, 19, 20 at the time, to just penalty shootout, slot one down the middle. I was like, what a baller, but turns out he shanked it. Yeah. Good. No, good.
Keep that in wraps.
So you guys ended up winning the Australia Cup, which we'll touch on a little bit later. Who did you beat and what was the score in the final?
Final was a 3-1 win versus Brisbane Roar.
Very good. You started that game on the bench. When did you get on?
So I came on at halftime
for
JCP at left back.
Very good. Jordan Cordy Perkins, if you're playing along at home. So then obviously you've made the move and you made your full A-League debut. I won't ask you the date, I'll tell you. It was the 12th of January 2024 for the Macarthur Bulls. Who was it against and what was the score?
It was against Western United. and it was a 3-3 thriller.
It was a 3-3 thriller.
I think we conceded a goal 2.5 minutes in, and I just went, "Wow,
Yeah.
no clean sheet happening on debut." So I was like, "Oh, let's just try and get a result from this." And I think Uli de Villa, Puppy. I think he carried
Is
us.
his name Puppy?
Yeah, Puppy.
I love
Everyone
that.
calls him Puppy.
I love that.
I think he put us on his back that game and carried us over the line.
Look, I'll back that because I was having a look through the stats I could find, and on Transfer Market, you've been accredited with 1 assist.
I have. Have you seen the assist?
Well, this is controversial because hold on. You tell me about your assist, and then I want to have a chat about this. So,
okay, Uli gets the ball. He finds me out wide. I've got no one around me. He's asking for it again. I feed it to him. I want to say 40 yards out.
yeah,
He probably goes touch, whips it. And as the ball's being whipped, I go, oh my goodness, if this goes in, that's an assist. And then I just see side netting and I'm celebrating like nothing else.
yeah, assist bonus, 1 for me. Thank you. It's like taking the kickoff and you pass to someone and they rip the whole team and score because that was a screamer from a little, you played a 5-yard pass.
I don't even think I made it in the highlight reel because all my friends are like, oh, they're checking Foot Mob.
Yeah.
Like, wow, you're in Foot Mob now. Oh, you got an assist. Yeah. And I was like, have you seen it? They're like, no. I was like, hey, it was pretty good. This was a top assist.
Yeah, split the defence. You made a running ball.
Broke the
Yeah,
line.
So in that game, though, I actually think you robbed him of assist. Do you remember De Villa's I'm going to call him Puppy now. Do you remember Puppy's final goal for 3-3? He scored a header.
Yes.
Do you know who crossed him the ball?
No, I think
It was you.
no.
Was it not?
I got subbed.
Man, I literally watched the highlight. I swear it was you.
Subbed 2 minutes. I think it was Jerry
no.
Skitardis whipped the ball in.
Yep.
I think I got subbed 85th minute.
Okay.
Because I'd come off 3-2. I think we put an attacker on. But I do remember that as well because I don't think Jerry got given the assist because it took a deflection off
Correct.
the
So
centre
De
back.
Villa's headed it into the defender and it's looped
It's
over the
gone.
keeper. So I thought they've ripped you off. No, so I'm trying to give you something. I was gonna fight the FA about it.
I was ready to take whatever you're going to give me.
But 2 assists on debut, that's TAA standards from right back.
Unbelievable. Haven't had a goal involvement since.
I dead set thought that was you. To be fair, the footage I was watching was a little bit grainy, but I don't know if I mixed you and Skitardis up. So I might have to check my eyes after that. So, but yeah, I was like, no, I reckon because I was like, which one have they given you? Surely it's if that first one, I'm like, that's a 5-yard pass into a screamer. Take that, and then I thought, mate, you've whipped this, and he's just. I don't know how many headers he scores, but I think they put that down as an own goal and taken it off you. But there you go. If it was Jerry, I apologise to him wholeheartedly. So, he won't get it anyway. So that's it for how well you know yourself. Now I'm going to give you just a bunch of random questions. I'm going to fire them at you. Feel free to go as in-depth as you want, or if you want to give no justification, you don't have to give any if you don't want. If you don't want to answer any, too bad. You've got to do it anyway. All right? So my first question for you, if you weren't a footballer, do you think you could have made it in parkour?
Wow, he's checked the gram.
Bro, your Instagram, I was sitting with my wife having breakfast this morning. I was like, this kid's got the cutest Instagram ever. If you haven't checked it out, please go check it out. It is just I scrolled right back and there's you, skinny, about 4'3", jumping off everything.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Trying to think of the thought process behind that. There's a weird connection between the parkour and the flips and football.
Yep.
Because I think my first ever exposure to flips was in an over 35s match where my dad scored and then ran to the corner flag and did a round off backflip. And I think
hold on, your dad's over 35, did a round off backflip.
I think it might have been Div 2 Premier League.
Okay.
I don't think it was. Maybe it wasn't over 35s. I don't know who
still
was
impressive.
at the time, but it was park footy, and he's just scored, ran and did a backflip, and I was sitting there in this little fold out camp chair, just jaw hit the floor because we'd never seen anything like this before. And then my brother and I are like, how do we do this? How do we learn this?
Teach me. And
I'm pretty sure the next year the birthday present was a trampoline and it was just practice.
Yeah.
Could I make it in parkour? I don't think I ever had because I used to follow all these parkour
Pretty
accounts,
impressive,
everything.
like what I saw.
No, but some of these guys, I could never crack the barrier for like a double backflip. For me, it was too much. And my brother and I, we just had a chat and we were like, oh, we're not going to be able to do this because we just can't break that fear barrier. We could do a backflip, that's fine. But just that next level.
Yeah, I did see there was even an Instagram page that you had started that's still out there.
It is.
If you want to give it a plug, now's the time. Now I know you haven't posted there in a while.
I think the name's changed a little bit, but that, definitely the other motive. What was it? Primary school, and we were trying to get a bit of attention from the ladies.
Of course.
What's more attractive than doing a backflip at lunchtime? So I think I had a couple mates that we would do flips at like lunch, at recess, and it was the best.
See, it's such a different world. Like when I was at that age, there was no social media. I don't even think that we had no iPhones, no nothing, right? Yeah. So you didn't have that avenue to express yourself and to, I don't know what page I would have started. I would have done something terrible. I'm not as talented as parkour or anything like that, so it would have been something terrible. I don't know. But I do my research here, as you can tell. So
I just think my Instagram, because I like it being a catalog or just like something I can just keep up there for myself.
Yeah.
But definitely every now and then, I think when I first joined Bulls, I think it was Rodriguez. He was saying he was sitting with Bernie, and he's like, we sat there for an hour and we were just laughing at your page. That's what it's there for.
So if you go on to become like this massive big football star, you leaving that, or are we getting rid of it?
Yeah, I think.
Or you starting a new?
I definitely think we've got there's some stuff in the archive already, but I reckon definitely there'll be a couple things that get cut back. But there's some of those clips I'm very, very proud of. I got to keep it up there for my year 6 self.
Yes, no, there was. Yeah, it was. Look, if you haven't checked it out, go jump on there, scroll back, give him some love for it, because it's pretty impressive, man. To be honest, like you're doing, full backflips just on ground. I love it when it's like first backflip on ground, like not on the tramp, not on the sand,
it's on the ground.
You could just see there's like a big moment for you as a child. You were like, just nailed it. First one.
I ran straight to the camera. I need to send
one of them you jumped off like the roof of something like cricket nets or something.
Cricket nets, yeah.
Wow.
Shout out Linford East Public School. Cheeky plug there. Definitely not allowed to do that.
Teacher definitely wasn't watching. Definitely not. All right. So what do you think you'd be doing at 21 if you weren't a professional footballer?
We're saying completely outside of football?
Yeah, let's say football didn't work out. Maybe you're playing, local MPL, whatever. But what would you be doing with your life, do you think, at the moment?
I think I've always had a massive interest in biology and in history. So I think I definitely would have taken the uni route. What I would have studied, I'm not sure, 100%. I think when I was younger, I always found what the physio spoke about our MPL games, everything super interesting.
Yeah.
Don't know if I got the ATAR requirement to be able to get into that course.
Always a back way in, mate.
But I always found high performance really interesting. I used to run a bit of cross country when I was in primary school, high school, and I was just found it like the energy system is very interesting. So I did find that level of high performance sport. I do have great admiration for these ultra marathon runners, everything. Very intrigued by that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something I could potentially still, an avenue I could take, during football, after football.
Yep.
But I think, if I wasn't a footballer, maybe something to do with biology.
Yeah.
Something to do with history as well. But that's more of a passion.
Okay, well, that leads into my next question. What was Kealey Adamson, the school student, like?
School student?
Yeah.
I would say...
Well, tell me, what would your teachers say about you?
Oh, they love me. No, I'm still very close. I really enjoyed school. I get bullied by my friend group because they're like, Kealey, can you stop telling us stories about primary school like that? That's come and gone.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear any more stories, the same stories from year 2, year 5, all this stuff. Like, but you guys, you're laughing at them every time. So I'd say during school, I'm still very close to my teachers, which has to be a good sign because it means it wasn't. We're done with you, ship you off, you're done.
Yeah.
Still very close. Like try to do a little bit of work back at my old high school, Kalari High. And Mr. Chan, the principal, is a legend. I used to be scared of him back in year 7, but...
Shout out to Mr. Chan.
Shout out to Mr. Chan.
Love that. So would they say you were a hard worker and academic or a bit of a class clown? How? Because there's different relationships, and especially as you get older, I find, through high school and stuff, there's a bit more mutual respect in that sense. You can be a little bit of a clown and have a laugh with the teacher. You know what I mean? Like, So how would they describe you, do you think?
I'd say my PE teacher was a big Wanderers fan, so it was always like just a little bit of a rivalry because I was playing at Sydney at the time. So that was kind of the back and forth there. Mr. Curry is probably, I would say, he's my favourite.
Okay.
He can have that.
It's on the record now.
My maths teacher, she was telling me to be a little bit more realistic with what I wanted to do.
Of course.
In the workplace after school. Yeah. So she very much wanted me to apply myself a little bit more than maybe I was in the classroom. Mm-hmm. I think, it was just, football, we get to where we are because of all the extras we do. And I think because I've had I've seen how, doing extras directly translates to success. Mm-hmm. I think maybe because I wasn't doing those same extras for the classroom and wasn't achieving maybe what they wanted me to achieve, that's probably a couple of them could have done a little bit better. But I think with most of them, like when they heard that I'd come on Australia Cup, because they made a little bit of a thing about it.
Yeah, of course.
They're very supportive, and they said, "Oh, okay, that's the kid." Here's a story. They were like, "That's the kid that we wanted to stop playing football every lunchtime." This is big. Okay, yeah. We had still the group chat name, everything. We had this group of boys, and what am I allowed to say? This group of boys, and it was called AVW. We'd play football at lunchtime, at recess, everything. So within this group, we would just play every single day. But you imagine we're playing on basketball courts, we're playing across 2 basketball courts. These, you work in a school, it's packed. Mm. Risk assessment out the window. How do we fix this? So they were very much on my case about football has to stop. You can't do this. We had this alert system where if a deputy especially, it was bang, the ball's gone, it's under the shirt, straight, you're just gone, everyone's cleared out. Suddenly there was a whole game in 30 seconds, everything's just gone. I think there was a kid in the year above who I hit with a ball like in his glasses, and that was like I remember getting pulled into the deputy's office and it was like, you can't, you can't do this. And that was definitely, because I think it played a big part in, because I was just playing so much football every single day. So I think it played a big part of how I was performing on the pitch on the weekend, weirdly, even though, most of the boys, some of them are playing, some of them are trying to break into the NPL. There's lots of different levels, but it's just like being part of a group that loved the game so much just made it, you'd love to go to school. Like that's the one thing you're looking for. As a year 11 student, you still want to run around, get sweaty, your tie, you got to undo it, everything, and just aerate in chemistry class. So I'd say that was probably the biggest thing. They did not like the amount of football that we were playing, but I think they forgive me.
I think they will, especially seeing how it goes. So I had Anthony Caceres on a couple of episodes ago, and he was saying that, like, in terms of not being football or whatever, and he goes, Plan B gets in the way of Plan A. So if your Plan A is just to make it, you put everything into it, and I feel like that's what you've done. Every chance you get, you're playing football, you're doing that. And as a school teacher myself, I can't condone some of your actions, but I will allow it. Okay, and I think they will too. So I think you'll be fine. Moving on. So can you tell me, I'm terrible with names anyway, but some pump up music that you might throw on before a game? What gets you going?
I'm not I had a similar chat because we had to do a little list, game day playlist.
Oh, yeah.
For the Bulls. And I used to listen to pump up music. I used to listen to stuff to get me G'd up, everything. But I think it was when I first started playing with the first team at my old club, Northern Tigers, like as an 18-year-old, just kind of breaking through their NPL2 space. I remember my first training session, and I was so excited, obviously, because I'm getting invited to train first I'm training on a weekend as well, and I thought that was amazing. And I was listening to this pump-up music, and I get to the training ground, and the head coach is talking, and he's trying to give us instructions about what we're doing in this passing pattern. And my heart rate from the music, my heart rate from the session, all the stress, I was so stressed. I could feel my heart beating out of my chest that I was sitting there. I'm making eye contact with him. He's speaking to me. He's explaining the drill. And in my head, I'm like thinking about all these things. Oh, is my touch going to be good? And then I realize I'm not listening to him. So I go, okay, listen. And he says, all right, let's get into it. And then I realized I've just told myself, listen 20 times in a row, and I've got no idea what we're doing in the drill. So the first touch was shambles. The passing was bobbly, and I had no idea where I needed to be. Yeah. And I looked shell-shocked for like all of this controlled passing. The only thing that saved it was when we played at the end, and when it was more natural, that's when I felt really comfortable, and it made it okay for me to come back. But I just remember the Monday session we had after that Sunday training session, I was like, I cannot replicate that. So I put Bob Marley on, always like in the background all through my youth. So I put that on, chilled out in the car, got to training, trained so much better, and it has weirdly become my game day. I just chill before, after, like that, and sometimes other flavors will creep in. So what have I been listening to recently? During the Australia Cup, I got weirdly like this kind of Latin jazz type of thing. It would give me a little bit of I wanted to dance a little bit, yeah. So that would really make me feel like I wanted to dance on the pitch. And then recently, Amapiano, this sound like out of South Africa that's just like, it's a little bit a mix between this Afro beats and a bit more fast pace. And that will also kind of get me going a little bit, because I feel I get a little bit more comfortable. I feel a bit more okay gassing myself up and being a bit more loose with my routine, rather than if I'm stressed, I'm listening to Bob Marley the whole trip.
I love that, man. It honestly reflects into myself. And I remember going like playing futsal with nationals and stuff, and you know, I was getting quite a few yellow cards for talking to the ref and whatnot. And on the way to every game, I'd be listening to like, you know, heavy pump up music, get me going, whatever. And then my parents were like, nah, Jack Johnson in the car. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's like Hawaiian acoustic guitarist, calm as, right? Because they're like, you're too fired up, you're too G'd up. We listen to this. So sitting in the car going to a game, and I'm just like mellow as.
Is this because
I was too aggressive, man. I was getting booked. I was getting sent off. I was getting like whatever, because I'll be listening to this music that's, like you said, heart rate's pumping. You go out there, I just wanted to kill someone. I was just like, I'm just going to like rip everyone to shreds, arguing with the referee, arguing with whoever, and it was terrible. So,
it's a learning curve.
It is. So I like to ask who DJs at the club or whatever before the game. So a lot of the time it's the young boys that jump. Have you had a chance to get on to the decks? Did you put Bob Marley on?
I didn't put Bob Marley just because I know what I like, and I feel like I know what.
You got to play to the crowd.
Yeah, you got to play to the crowd. So I've been DJing a lot in the gym. Definitely stepped up in the gym.
And what are you putting on? What are the boys vibing?
What did I put on? Yesterday I was mixing it up. I was playing this Congolese 1990s just music. I don't know, something we used to have back in the day. I just put it on. I just put the album. That's when, you know, you're a bit comfortable. I just started the album, started from start to finish, and just let it run. Gym, low stakes, doesn't matter too much. The boys will normally have a little bit of a dance, everything. Yeah. So it was good vibes. Yeah. But on game day, like some people are very particular with their routine. And if you put something that's maybe a bit different on, it can take people out of their prep. Yeah. So like you're kind of responsible for that if you're the DJ. So I DJ'd the Wanderers game. Was that 2 weeks ago now? It was the first time stepping up on the decks for the Bulls boys, and I came off injured and we lost the game. So it's, you know,
it's a terrible responsibility, because there's no way you are pleasing everybody. Think about, you're one of the younger boys, whatever, and then you've got guys at the other end of their career, you know, mid-30s, whatever. Then you've got coaches and physios, and it could be absolutely any age. You're not pleasing everybody.
Yeah.
And then if you do, even if you think you nail it, you've come off injured, you've lost the game, you're out. Someone else is
like the voodoo anyway.
Yeah.
I think for that one, I got the vibe right, but the boys definitely, they can play kind of what they want to play. I'm very much, I've got my AirPods ready to go.
Yeah.
Like I can still stay in my whole routine. I think it was just no one was playing music, and they're like, yeah, you always listen to music. Why don't you play something? I put it on. Some people have a little bit of a boogie. I like to feel like I want to dance before I go out. That's just me, but I know everyone's a little bit different.
Yeah. I know the Brazilians are massive on it. Like, you walk in there, they've got the samba on all the time, and it's just, like you said, it makes them, they want to dance and whatever, and then they go and play like that.
You saw the intros for AFCON? The team walk-ins.
Yeah.
Oh, there'd be one guy with the boombox playing something crazy.
But they got drums and everything, man. Like, they're all moving, over it, bro.
Yeah.
Everything. Like,
just make it full. You want to make it people's entertainment. Why not 100%. Entertain all the time?
That's right. I love that. So just on that, then, have you got any superstitions like pre-game, whatever, anything that you have to do, or not really?
I like to mix it up a little bit because I have mentors at my old club where I still coach at, Northern Tigers.
Yep.
And I remember, I think we won a couple games in the Australia Cup, and I had the cornrows, and I think his name's Danilo. He told me, he's like, "You take your hair out for this next game," and it was the semi-final, I think, versus Melbourne City away, and I was like, "Oh, like, how come?" He's like, "You will become crazy. You'll become super attached." And it was weirdly like it started becoming routine. Like I needed to get these cornrows before the game, and I knew my girlfriend does them, and I knew that she sometimes, she's not going to be able to give the time to be able to get me ready for the game, everything. So, the less factors I have to worry about, the better. So he just said, rock the throw. So I rocked the throw. I went out, got hooked at halftime. We won the game though.
Yeah.
And the Rows were back for the final. But for me, that was good, recognizing that a bit of voodoo is all right, but like there's definitely things that could be harmful. For me, as long as I have this one weird thing. So a lot of the boys love to nap after lunch before, pre-match or before going off to play the game. For me, if we play maybe a 3 p.m. kickoff and I have like a good sleep in and maybe how my meals work, I only have, let's say, 5 minutes to nap. I've got this one playlist on my Spotify, which I'll listen to while I nap. But if I don't have the time, I still have to weirdly tick the box. I'll put my head on the pillow, I tap play, and then I tap pause and I get up and I go have my shower. Like that for me is I just I weirdly have to tick that box, and it's not too hard to tick. As long as I can close my eyes for a second and just press play on this playlist, happy days.
All is right in the world.
I know.
If that happens. Who do you room with on away days? And on the flip side of that, who would you like to avoid rooming with on away days?
At the moment, I've only had – actually, I went on one away day with Sydney FC. I think I've been on 4 away trips with Macarthur.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only ever roomed with a Holman.
Really?
Yeah.
But a different one, I see.
Different one. So I got to experience both, a bit of Corey, a little bit of Jake.
Who are you preferring? Who's the better roomie?
Jake's he maybe brought a little bit more value. Corey and I, we did have the Xbox. We did have a good time. But we actually both got hooked together in the semi-final at halftime. So we kind of, that dynamic maybe just didn't.
Sad room after that.
It didn't bring, just come in and what happened?
All right.
But Jakey's good. Yeah. Because obviously I knew the family beforehand. Our girlfriends are super close. They knew each other before.
So you're allowed to be friends because the girls get along?
Yeah, they got on.
Allowed to be mates? Yeah, cool.
They got on really well. So I think we've done an away day where they went and watched our game at my girlfriend's house, and then they had like a sleepover. They're like, oh yeah, look. So we were just like, what are you doing? No, but yeah, Jakey's been good.
Anyone you'd like to avoid from, I know there's always whispers about a lot of the time, look, it is the goalkeepers a lot of the time because they're special creatures, but is there anyone that you would avoid? Any reasons why? I think the boys are pretty good. There's no one I can really pinpoint as being like, oh, you just would not want to room with them. I think everyone's pretty good. I'm trying to think of who Jake, when we had Jake Micking on, who he said he would like to avoid.
He rooms with Matty.
He was rooming with Matty Miller, yeah, a lot. I can't remember.
He'd probably say he'd want to avoid Matty Miller and be with Matty Miller at the same time.
Probably.
It's like, actually, that's what is it? Tommy Scott and Ivan, love-hate relationship.
Do they room together?
Like brothers, but then also going to tear them apart sometimes on the training pitch because they're going at it.
I love that. Yeah. Cool. So we'll just move on. Do you have a pre-match routine in terms of like the day before or the morning, or like you have to eat certain food morning of or whatever? Like, do you have a set thing that you need to do or that you like to do, I suppose?
Ideally, pesto the night before. It's just love it.
What pasta are you going, but fettuccine guy? What are you throwing in there?
I don't know. I actually don't know what it's called.
What does it? Tell me what it looks like, and I'll see.
Spiral.
Oh yeah,
spirals.
I think they're called spirals. We'll call them that anyway. Yeah,
I think just spirals, but always have enough so that the next day I can have lunch, because that's what I'll have before my nap. So normally I'll have like a bacon, tomato, pesto pasta. That is the only meal I have to tick off.
Yeah. And if you're away,
if I'm away,
taking that with you.
See, I love my breakfast. So when I see a buffet breakfast in the morning, that's why I love when we get to be there the next day as well, the day after a game. Because then when I see some hash browns, whatever, I can put them on my plate. Maybe day of a game, I'm a little bit more cautious of like what's going into my body. At home, I'll have cereal, but on a away day, normally the cereals just aren't the same. So I sometimes mix it up, a bit of toast, eggs, bacon. That's when I have just standard. But at home, just cereal, away, maybe a little bit of fruit stuff. Nothing crazy. I look forward to it, and it hurts my soul to walk past, the hash browns, walk past everything.
But you know the next day.
But I know the next day. We're
that.
staying there that night. Oh, it's gone in my belly.
I love that. What about this one? I ask everybody. So VAR, keep it or sack it?
I've never played without it. Mm-hmm. Obviously in the A-League space. So I feel like when I was playing NPL, the youth team, just like everything was very quick, fast flowing. Obviously there's decisions that we just wouldn't, just wrong, but no one can say anything. You move on. I do like that aspect, but it also changes the way you play. I think what VAR does, it means like I can confidently hold like a line. And if a player goes offside, I don't even need a second guess because I know it's going to go up to the booth and then it's going to get written off. I just think that sometimes like the delay, I think my first game in the A-League against Western United when I think Daniel Pena scored off a rebound off Curto and we stood there for maybe 4 or 5 minutes appealing and they went up, they checked it, they came back, they said play on. I think Villiers just had the ball in his hand and was just saying no. Like, look, we can see he's offside. Yeah. I saw the footage after and saw he was on. But it was just little things like that where it just breaks the game up a lot. So it just doesn't flow as quickly. There's a lot of, I don't know what it would even be like for the fans. You're sitting there, I don't know, just a lot of delays. Yeah. But I'm not too negative about it because it is pretty black and white, even when you're just like, oh, come on. Like we had a penalty given against us on the weekend where as soon as I saw it was outside his T-shirt line, even though his hands all the way behind his head, I think it was Tommy, came off him, and I was like, oh, that's going to get given. So I think I've come to terms with just how they work, and maybe it's still just too new. Maybe those pauses in play are just the new normal, and that's just what we have to live with. Yeah,
I do think it kills a bit of the vibe if you're having to wait. Obviously, you want them to get if you're going to take that time and get it right, great. But there are still instances of them taking that long and still making decisions where people go and how. So yeah, the general feedback is that it's there, use it, but it's got to be quicker. Because the thing for me is if you score a goal, I can just picture your first A-League goal. Going to be some header that maybe Lino's called it offside.
I've already done my backflip to sell it.
Well, that's the thing. You've gone to backflip and you've gone, oh, I'm going to wait. And then they go upstairs to check it's a goal. And then you just give but it's 5 minutes later, and instead of us seeing your first ever double backflip, we're getting a little fist bump. Yeah. So
now that does take the wind out of a lot of the celebrations. I'm a big believer that if you have a good celebration, you sell it a little bit more. They want to give it a little bit more. I think
that weighs into their mind. Look, he's done a double backflip, can't take this off.
Yeah. I had one stinking goal I scored against St. George City way back in under 20s. And it was the biggest, it was going out for a throw-in and it deflected and then went into the side netting. And I've just run to the corner and started doing a backflip just to convince the ref to write my number on the sheet, just on his piece of paper. And I think we had this French coach, Raf, who got the video, halftime, puts it up. Have a look. He's like, Kealey, is this going in? The ball is going all the way off to the sideline. Yeah. And all the boys just ripping into me like, why did you celebrate? I was like, you can't not, he's done a backflip, you can't not write the number down, give him the goal. So I would sell it no matter what.
But I love that. I've claimed a few own goals that way where it's sort of like two people have gone in and it's definitely come off them and I'm fly kicking the corner flag going, this is my goal.
You're fist bumping, going crazy.
100%. If I just went, oh yeah, like, maybe they're going to go own goal.
If you look like
ref, did you touch that? Yeah, man, definitely me. And no defender wants the own goal on their record anyway. So, but yeah, it was me for sure.
They'll give it to you.
Yeah, defenders are happy. They're like, yeah, he got that for sure. So, all right, we go from VAR to another really contentious topic. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes, it's fresh, it's sweet, it's nice. That's not what I would go to anyway as my pizza choice, but if it's on there, happy days.
So for morning after a game, there's a bit of ham pineapple.
Yeah.
If that's only there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's the neglected pizza, so it's always there as leftovers.
That probably means it's been sitting there the longest as well. It's probably not in the best shape.
I don't mind it. If I saw it in the lunchbox maybe after
Yeah.
cheeky pizza night,
Oh, good.
I'd be happy.
Yeah, class party. Hawaiian pizza, play on. Yeah.
Happy days.
Who do you support in football?
Football, I support Manchester United. So
It's very difficult for me to have you across the table here. And is there a reason why? Like what sparked that?
there is a reason. So it's not.
Is it a primary school story?
No, it's not a primary school story. See, we were about to take that route again. No, this is my grandpa. He was not into sport at all. So he's an Irish guy. He was born in Ireland, in Dublin, but grew up in Manchester. And I'm a legacy United supporter. He is a self-confessed bandwagon because when he grew up, you had United, you had City. He didn't watch sport. He didn't like football, didn't like anything like that. But he said, I supported Manchester United because City were nothing. He was just he said everyone went for United. So I've gone, my grandfather's a bandwagon. That makes me a genuine supporter. That's a pretty good connection there.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's a good justification.
It is.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it, but it is difficult for me, as you can see with my Leeds shirt on right now. This might answer the next question. Messi or Ronaldo? Oh, this is hard for you.
It is hard. Yeah. I've changed.
Because you're a legacy fan.
You know? I flip-flop back and forth. I think the World Cup win has it for Messi. But I just think growing up, I saw Messi as an alien. I saw Ronaldo as he's still unbelievable, but as more like just this hard work, these intense regimes, everything. And I know it's a little bit like he has on his social media, so he's trying to sell the brand a bit, but it's a great story, looks after himself, all this. So I think for me, I always just like that idea of he's just worked his left foot, right foot, everything to these extremes. He's unbelievably fit, everything. Mm-hmm. And then Messi's doing these things on the pitch, which now I think I appreciate more as I've gotten older. But I think when I was younger, I would say Ronaldo. But I think growing up is realizing that Messi.
Bit of a shift. It's funny, a lot of people always say, oh, Messi's like a natural whatever. I get that, but he's obviously like you talk about putting the extras in and the time in.
Yeah.
You can be as natural as you want, but if you don't put any time into it, you're going to be nothing, So I never like that comparison of that. Like I understand, Ronaldo seems to be this highly trained, functional athlete, whatever. Like I get that. But then to say that Messi's just a natural athlete, like people brush it off like he's put no effort into it. It's just happened for him. It can't be the case, man. And you saw how small he was as a child.
Yeah.
Like, mate, another level. So I'm definitely with you there. Who do you think, this will probably test a bit of football knowledge, I suppose. Who do you think the next sort of group of players that will dominate the Ballon d'Or will be? So I feel like Messi and Ronaldo are a little bit done now in that sense. Probably won't win another Ballon d'Or.
Oh, you never know Messi.
Look, I don't know. If he wins it at Inter Miami, he's doing really well, right? But I'm just, as a general consensus, you think they're sort of in the back end. Who's the next crop, do you think, that will start being, maybe 2 or 3 players that you think in world football at the moment might start being in that conversation?
I think you almost miss like a whole generation of footballers because 100%. Ronaldo and Messi, like they're just so stubborn. They just kept their hands on the trophy for so long that I feel like if I think about where those votes would be going, I honestly reckon they're looking for the next Messi, Ronaldo. I don't think they're even going to be looking for mid-20s players. Like you saw Lewandowski's not even getting it when he scores unbelievable amount of goals. I think going forward, I think Lamine Yamal's been unbelievable.
Who, sorry?
Lamine Yamal.
Yep.
I think Haaland could easily have a Ballon d'Or in him. Jude, easily. Kobe Manu.
That's a big call because he's still
young, but
he's played less games than you, I reckon.
He looks unbelievable. And then Endrick, I reckon, just like it just feels like there's a storyline coming through, and the old guard took a lot longer to leave than people expected, and now all the eyes are on the youth.
Mbappe?
Mbappe? Yeah. See, I think even he just didn't even make my list because I feel like he's very much taken for granted because what he offers is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But he's been doing it for so long. And I don't know if it's attention spans, everything, but things get old quick. Everyone's looking for the next new thing. So I feel he has to do something unbelievable to win it.
Yeah. And he will leave PSG now, so I think it would depend on what he does next.
Conceal.
It's a good list. If one of those guys wins it, you heard it here first on the corner flag. So Kobe Minu is a big one, man. I think he could go up there. What are you driving at the moment?
Driving mum's Mazda CX-3.
I love that. So you haven't got your own car?
No, not yet. So we have little car debates in the family every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
We're a Mazda family at the moment. It was just need to drive to trainings and I think just mum's car was there. It was when I was first trialing at Sydney in year 12. I think we had 2 cars at the time and Dad needed one for work. My brother was able to catch the bus, but my mum and I were doing a little bit of juggling of the car. So there was a couple of days where she was catching the bus in and then I was taking the car for very, very lucky. Thank you very much, Mum. So I'm still very grateful for that. And then I think it was just impossible to make everything work. So we've got, I think 3 cars now and I'm still using Mum's car. Mm-hmm. I am paying for fuel, tolls,
what a guy.
Services. I know, but I just didn't have to pay.
Every mum's dream. Kealey Adamson, pay for petrol.
Look at that.
What are you binging at the moment, if anything? If TV or podcasts or whatever's your thing, movies, whatever?
I've been big into my sci-fi recently. Mm-hmm. I watched 3 Body Problem on Netflix. They got me. I'd never seen it before. I logged on to Netflix because I've been trying to just watch more shows just because I feel like I spend too long on the homepage scrolling. Yeah. So I've been trying to just attack it, pick something, sit down, watch. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, who cares? But I remember logged in and then they just filled the whole screen with a trailer. I was like, I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
As in that type of advertising. And then I was like, this is quite interesting. And then they got me, click play, and then ended up watching the whole thing. Super interesting. And then I was on Amazon looking for like book 2 and book 3 just because I don't think I've been pushed in that direction of wanting to read ahead, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also June Part 2. I watched that a couple of weeks ago with a friend that hadn't seen Part 1. And then now suddenly I've got a long list of sci-fi books, which I just, I've got my finger hovering over order because it does take.
You're an avid reader, like you like to read?
No,
So this is like
this is like a big deal. I take a while to read a book, like a long time. I get roasted for being a slow reader. So if anyone shows me anything on their phone,
because you spent your whole time at school playing football and not reading.
I know. I should have spent more time reading books. But whenever anyone holds anything up to me and it's like, oh, check this TikTok out, and I'm going through, you done? They're still holding it up in front of my face. Guys, come on.
The video's playing for the 3rd time, still reading the caption.
Yeah, just going to read the caption. Be patient, guys. But if I really like something and I enjoy it, I just think I'll sit down, be able to read.
Cool. What about your most used app on your phone? So what's getting the most?
YouTube. Too multi-dimensional. You can just too many avenues I can feel like my most productive self. I could be watching history content, language content, anything. And then I could also be absolutely binging short form, YouTube shorts, everything. So definitely YouTube would be up there. That's my.
I'm sure you subscribe to the Corner Flag podcast on YouTube.
Oh,
definitely. Yeah, definitely. Knew that.
I subscribed twice.
Oh, see, thanks. I appreciate that. Who would you say in your phone is I'm going to use some youngster terminology here for you so you understand this. The viewers might not, listeners might not. What contact is your biggest flex?
Phone number.
Yeah. So I'm going to go, well, even then, let's bring it down again to the youth. So phone number or Instagram follower, someone that if I said, oh, you know Kealey, I know Kealey Adamson. You know what I mean?
I think, I don't think I have many phone numbers. Like it would just be the A-League boys I've played with, in the team.
Talk to me.
I think Redders, because he's the most, like my non-football friends know who he is.
Yeah.
Because
he's a wiggle.
Yeah. The grey wiggle. Everyone knows the grey wiggle.
Yep.
But on Instagram, I think I was speaking to a friend about this, like most followed follower. I think it might be. I think it was Aaron Kunda, because I've never spoken to the guy, but it was like a little bit of he's Tanzanian, he plays in the A-League, or he's Burundi, born in Tanzania.
Yeah.
Tanzania, and there's like three of us in the league: Charles, Aaron Kunda, and I.
Yeah.
So I think he got, when he signed for Bayern, just got absolute influx of followers, and then I was like, oh, yeah.
He follows the corner flag too, man. So trying to get him on before he ducks over. So pop a word in.
I'd say, yeah, I reckon that. Yeah.
Maybe I'll get you, Charles, and Nestor on together, and we'll have, you guys can school me in some culture.
We'll do it in Swahili.
Love it. So obviously being a youngster, you've come in, you signed in January. So in that period there, you didn't get your full selection of kit numbers. So whose number are you eyeing off? Like, what do you want when let's say you've signed a new 5-year deal with the Bulls, and they go, what number do you want, man? We're blank. You can have any number you want. What are you taking?
Any number.
Yeah.
When I first sat down and like, oh, what number do you want to pick? And they showed me the list, what was available. Actually, even before that, it was like sending through 3
preferences. Yeah.
And I think my first thought, I had 27 at Sydney. It's like a little bit of the academy number. You're like just coming in. I think that, and like 32. So just out of habit, I was like, oh, maybe 27 would be cool. But that wasn't available. So I was looking at a lot of thought going into it. I was looking at other numbers. There was numbers that I think just like you can't take that. And I was having jokes with my mates. I think the number 9 was available, and then number 3 at the time. So it was like, oh,
Asamoah Gyan, with the 3 on, go play up front.
Imagine if I played 9, and then my mate's like, yeah, that'd be hilarious. And then one mate's like, no, that is the most unprofessional thing you could ever do. I'm just trying to have a laugh. So then I had a little look. I think the other one was 18. But then I sat on number 20 because I think it looks cold. I thought the number was cool first, and then I started looking at like playlist of who has it. And I think Bernardo Silva was the one that stood out to me because I'd seen these crazy clips of him, just his little movements like in pockets, what he does under pressure. And I think for a whole off season 2 years ago, I just had this Bernardo Silva move that I just kept trying to recreate or kept trying to practice, or I wanted to have his like left foot because he was just scoring some unbelievable goals. So that was probably the most attractive thing about the number. And then my girlfriend's like, oh, Sam Kerr's number 20 as well. I was like, oh, there you go. Since I've had it, I've just noticed so many more players that have it.
Yeah.
And I think now I did a big shirt order, gave it to all my friends. So now they're all wearing number 20 now. I don't think I can change. So now I think I'm set.
I've heard about it at other clubs like overseas where if they change numbers, they'll say like anyone who's got my old jersey, if you bring it in, like this is obviously like Premier League level, they'll go like, I'll pay for you to get a new one with the new number.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. If you change now, let's say you go to number 2 or whatever, well, let's get to number 20, you're going to be like old school now. But I don't mind that as well. It's like a mate from the start.
Yeah.
Like I was following you when you were number 2.
You got the OG number.
That's it. Can you tell me your biggest role model? Could be in football, or like a sporting hero, or could be not outside of football, whatever. Anyone that's really sort of influenced you, either through person-to-person contact or just someone you've admired on TV or whatever.
I think talk about like football icon, the player that I'm just obsessed with the most. It's got to be Ronaldinho. Even though never really watched him in these like 90-minute games, anything like that.
Were you born when he was playing? Like,
yeah, exactly. I was 2003. He was still playing.
You're 2003.
He was still playing until.
So he was at Barcelona then, like in the peak of his powers, just after they just won the World Cup.
But never really watched him play. But
I can't believe they weren't alive when they're on
the clips.
Yep,
the clips are unbelievable.
Another level.
I just think, like, people say don't base your everything off highlights, but the things in these clips are so unbelievable and just make me so excited and would make me so energetic about going and playing football that it just made football more fun seeing it played at its most entertaining level, and even though you're only taking snippets of games, seasons, everything, I'd watch that and I'd just have so much motivation. I would want to bounce the ball in my head. I'd want to add a bit more trickery to how I play. And I just think, just obsessed
Yeah.
with it.
Being the avid YouTube person, I'm sure, have you seen his Nike ad with the crossbar?
Absolutely.
Like when that came out, man, like, because at that age, the social media wasn't really a thing. Right? So it's come out on YouTube, and like we were sneaking into the computer lab at school to watch this video, and people didn't edit videos then. Like this, we were like, this is real. This is like legit. Like this guy's a freak.
Yeah.
I need those boots. Like everyone's dynamic absolutely changed. And I remember even like he was at the peak of his powers at Barcelona. And that's why one of the reasons why I love Barcelona, right? But after he left and he went to AC Milan, whatever, he started to drop down. There's still so many good videos of him at AC Milan, just embarrassing people.
Nutmegging, Elastico nutmeg. See, I need to do an Elastico in game. I've got a little shopping list of things
Miller's listening.
Have to do.
I do that, but yeah, you do. All right.
Got to do it in training first, and then.
Okay, all right. I've got two more for you very quickly. So, who's your best mate in football? Or mates? Who you in a group chat with? Who you having a chat to still?
We've got this like a lot of us, like the Sydney NPL boys. We kind of you're all brought together, and everyone's in the same stage of their career where we're all on like the youth contract. We're all trying to get the first professional contract. So it can kind of go two ways. You can kind of all win together, or you can rip into each other, try and like take each other's spot, try and like you want a competitive environment, but sometimes it can cross over into a bit of toxicity. Yeah. So I think from like that Sydney NPL team, I think was it Clayton Taylor, Oscar Priestman, Nathan Paul, Corey Holman, like out of those boys, like I still chat to them all the time. Even actually, was it Grimaldi went into the Sydney NPL, into Southern NPL after finishing up at Sydney, and then got a gig at Newcastle Jets. Like those boys, I think it's a bit different now that kind of like playing in a space where, you haven't made it, but boys that, they've got to this point. And at this point, it's already like unbelievable being in an A-League space. But yeah, something about these early morning training sessions at Christie Park, and we're all on $60 a week, and everyone's just fighting for that first contract. It just brought us all super close together. Yeah. Like, so now whenever any of those boys succeed, like in the A-League,
the win for you too.
I'm all for it. I just love seeing that. And I think, just get G'd up for all of them, which is top.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. I love that there's that. Obviously, it's, like you said, it's competitive rivalry, but also buzzing for your mates. Just at any level, anyone would.
As long as it's not against the Bulls, they can rip into each other, score goals against
Wish you luck, but not too much luck against me. Yeah, fair enough. Last question for our rapid fire. If you could be an Olympian in any sport, regardless of your physique, ability, whatever, and I'm going to say a gold medal winning Olympian, not football, what would you do?
Okay, we're going to no swimming. Swimming, that's going to be out the picture.
It could be. It's up to you.
I reckon, just love cross country was fun, but it was so hard. So if you're saying I'm gold medal level, it'd be awesome to be Usain Bolt quick. Like that would just be the best.
Yeah.
But I just have to stick to my gut. I've got to say that a 5K, 5 kilometer, or even is it 8K?
I think it's 5 and 10.
5 and 10. 10. I'm gonna say 10. I'm gonna say 10K. Yeah. I know it's gonna kill me, but if you're saying I'm that fit, then I'll take it.
I love you. The first person, like everyone says 100 meters, Usain Bolt, like whatever, but the first one to go outside that realm. And I don't know. For me as a kid, like the Olympics was my dream. Like I still sometimes at night I'll Google like what's the easiest Olympic sport to make it into, and I might just start playing it. Like I think they're bringing in gridiron or something, so I'm just going to start playing gridiron and maybe go do Olympics or something. It's called flag football, so it's like a touch version of whatever. I'm like, surely no one plays that here. I could go to the Olympics. I want to get an Olympic rings tattooed, done, But yeah, like to have, I think especially in you're obviously in a team sport, in an individual sport, it'd be another level to sort of be the best in the world at. All right, thanks, Kealey. Thanks for taking part in the warm-up. There you have it, football fans. That was the warm-up, our introduction with Kealey Adamson from the Macarthur Bulls. As always, please make sure you're jumping onto our YouTube and Spotify, subscribing, and also on Instagram as well, liking and sharing our posts. As always, thank you so much for joining us here. And as always, remember to celebrate with the corner flag.